Well, I thought this was going to be a boring drive down to Ohio. Poor Amy, she woke up, she was a little under the weather. We have to get the kids to school. We get the sale on. She takes the kids to school. She's late for school. Now, I was late yesterday. I didn't even tell her that. And honestly, in the bigger scheme of things, I don't really care. All right, I tried to get there on time. There was traffic. We were 5 minutes late. And we were late because usually the kids have been great getting up early. And I have no problem getting up early. It's getting them out the door on time, right? Ollie was a little sick yesterday, so he was playing the boo-hoos, trying to get out of school. And I was trying to politely and nicely talk him into going. You gotta tough through some of this stuff. You know, when I was a kid, there was no day off because my parents couldn't stay home. And I wasn't old enough to, I was 10 or 11, I'm 12, I wasn't old enough to stay home alone. So there was no, oh, I got a headache and a scratchy throat. It was, thanks, put it in your diary if you have one. Have a good day at school. So I'm trying to talk Ollie into go. Finally, I just said, get in the car, we'll drive to school, and, you know, if you decide when you get there you don't want to go, then we'll talk about it then. I was just kicking that can down the road. He was going to school. So we get to school, he pissed and moaned a little bit, and he went, but we ended up being like 8:04. You have to be there at 8, the doors close at 8, and they're strict about it. But you can go to the office and get a late note, whatever. I got a late note. I didn't tell Amy because I knew she'd be stressed out about it. So today, she's going to take the kids to school, and she's late. Now, Ava goes to Walsh Jesuit, and it's 20 minutes away from St. Barnabas, but every parent on earth is on that road at that time. She's late. Now this, to my wife, is a crushing defeat as a mother. Terribly worried about it, like upset about it. And she knows better than to talk to me about it because she knows I don't really care that much. All right, you're a couple minutes late for school. All right, fine. Blame Anthony. I'm okay with it. You know, in the bigger scheme of things, is it really the end of the world? And I know there's lots of people out there saying, Anthony, it does bother me that you're late to stuff too. Punctuality is important. I never get mad if I go to lunch with someone and I say, hey, I'll meet you there at 12:30 and they show up at 12:41. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. I just don't think it's worth the added stress of life to have that army mentality. And God love people that do it because the world wouldn't run properly if there wasn't those people. And my wife, God love her, she's one of those people. I'm sure you figured it out by now, after knowing me for however long you've known me now. Varies from person to person. You know I'm not too worried about it. She's not worth the stress. So she didn't get off to a great start today. We've looked through all the babies. We're going to look at all the babies. We're going to, you know, purchase some maybe. I mean, quite frankly, may not get any. There's 11 horses on my list, and I had some pictures sent to me yesterday. Thanks to Bill Donnelly, by the way. You know, we always have great clients that Bill was at the sale yesterday and was taking pictures of horses that we were interested in. Sent me some pictures of horses he was interested in also. A couple of clients knifed through some of the videos of horses that we were looking at or they were looking at and said, hey, Ron, one of our partners in particular, I don't want to say the horse or whatnot, so it wouldn't be polite, was looking and said, Anthony, I'm looking at the front end of this horse coming at us, that head-on video. Do those knees look offset to you? 100% they look offset to me. If that video is an accurate depiction of the formation of that horse's knees, there will be no need bidding on that particular animal. I'll let you know in about 20 minutes. And while all this is going on, I just wanted to wake up and do a video on the way to the sale. No big deal. But it was much more than that. Where are we entering these horses? Where are these horses going? We have horses coming to Ohio from Ontario. We have horses that are going to Ontario from the States. Save America left this morning to go to Ontario to swim from Prince Edward Island in his second leg of his rehab of his broken bone. everything looks great so far. Smitty said he's walking sound on it. He's fine. He looks good. Now he goes in the pool for a month and then we reassess. But from what I can see, and by all accounts, all is going very, very well with the rehabilitation of Save America, which is good. I think it's important also because when you talk about the rehab of Save America, I want to believe that when you hear that, you're like, yeah, but he may not come back or may not come back good. I think it's important to note that Dr. Brown in particular, and he will be the point man on this rehab because he's a guy I got a ton of respect for. Dr. Brown and Dr. Latessa, two veterinarians that I hold in very, very high regard since I've come to know them. And Dr. Brown has looked at the x-ray pre and post-op. He was very, very happy with what he saw from Save America. And this traffic is insane. He said everything looks good post-op. Stall rest for 30 days. Now it's been 40 days because he had to wait a little bit longer to get to Ontario. So he said no problem shipping him. Ship him to Ontario. Put him in the pool. Re-x-ray after 30 days, and then we'll reevaluate after that. Which you couldn't ask for much more than that, right? I was pretty happy with the way Dr. Brown portrayed it to me. So Save America on his way back up to Ontario right now to swim at First Line Training Center. We have a number of stake horses we're trying to get in the right place. We have some horses that got turned out that are coming back in. Spitfire Overseas and Nassau are scheduled to come back in right now. So they'll be coming back in tomorrow. We need to line that up. Some of the staking calendar issues that we're trying to straighten and get a firm grip on. Jolene Hall, Tomboy Strong, of course Judy's Money. I think her dance ticket's already punched, right? She is the leader in the Buckeye right now in Ohio and will be making the Buckeye final. Jolene Hall, if we play our cards right, will make the Buckeye consolation. And then I suspect Corbin will close out her year. Tomboy Strong, we're looking to see what's the best course for her. It looks like it may be Buckeye Constellation 2 that they had at Northfield last year. Went for like $25,000. And if we play our cards right, the Sire Stake Constellation, which I think the way we have her shod, the way she's trotting right now. Remember, she was off 3 weeks off the virus the other day and trotted good. I like what I saw both with the hobbles and the new shoeing. I think she'll be fine. You know, I don't think I'm in the right lane. I thought I was, and I don't think I am now. These guys are going, it's one of these exits that splits. I think the left lane is not where I'm going, and the left lane is what I'm in right now. I need to be in this right lane here. Yeah, now we're cooking with gas. So just spent a little bit of the morning going over the points, the calendar, the staking legs with Greg, our resident statistician and voice of reason. What he has planned out, or what he thought might make the most sense for Jolene Hall, I think does make the most sense. Racer in the Kentucky race on Monday. After the Kentucky race on Monday, reevaluate. And the realistic choice would be to forego the final in Kentucky that goes for 50. Racer in the Buckeye and Jug Week, which if she races well, which she's been racing well every start of her life, if she races well, there's a very good chance she could make the Buckeye Consolation or even the Buckeye Final, but I would choose the Consolation. It goes for 50. And then off to Corbin. The reason being, the Kentucky race is tough. There's a couple of sharks in there. There's sharks everywhere. We're not missing sharks anywhere we go. But to race for 20, which is obviously less than half of the 50 she would race for in the final in Kentucky, I think she could handle that crew better. So although we're racing for more, the reality is we'll likely get more. That's my take anyway. And then of course you get to race for that 50 anyway. the Buckeye consolation. Again, my take. And Greg's take. Muscle Chrome, more than likely, as I said, racing the Sire Stake. Aim for the Sire Stake consolation with her. I think she's good enough to go in there. I like what I saw from the shoeing changes, from the hobbles being applied. Again, keep in mind, this was a filly that still had a weight count of 10.1 the other day, so it was a little elevated. Coming in off a scratch sick, hadn't raced in like 3 weeks. I like what I saw the other day from Muscle Chrome, and I think she'll be fine. I'd rather the win, but I'll take the second. And then, of course, Judy's Money's already, as I said, punched her ticket to the Buckeye final. She's a Buckeye leader right now. 3 wins and a second, I think, in Buckeye racing. So that went on today. Who's being entered for this weekend, where they're being entered for this weekend. I know, where do we race a number of our horses? I just want to make sure, and talking to Dr. Latessa and Jason, that's a big text thread also. Both Jasons and Dr. Latessa are on there. I told everybody, we worked hard to get the stable starting to turn in the right direction. Do not take your foot off the gas. Make sure that no stone unturned right now at the stable for sure. And it's not that they're ever unturned, but I don't want there to be any, that horse will be all right. No, that's not going to cut it right now. So I need that to be locked down, which it is. So, that being said, I'm happy with the way this morning has gone thus far. I'm happy with the way things are going in the barn this week. Let's talk about last night, what took place yesterday. Blue Ventura raced good. He doesn't like being stretched out like that big half in front of him, but raced good, and he doesn't do his best work being forced left into the passing lane. I should have went right. I can't say that it would have been any closer, but the proper move in that particular race, looking it over again and running it back in my mind, get to the outside. That's what I should have done. Anyway, the horse raced good, finished 5th. He's been off extended period of time with 1 or 2 training trips. I thought he raced very, very well. Winter Soldier was good. Was he great? No. He actually trained better than he raced last week. Was the track deep? Did that play a role? Did maybe that hard training miles zap him a little bit 5 days out? I don't know. He was good. The horse wasn't bad. It's hard to judge Northfield. The only problem, and this will be something every trainer, driver, caretaker will tell you about Northfield, is it's not the same right now. What I mean is week to week, night to night. It might be deep, it might be hard. When I went out and trained him last week, the track was firm in the morning, and he actually liked it. Last night it was quite deep, and just felt to me like a couple of times a mile he's spinning his wheels. Did that zap him a little bit also? I don't know. It's hard to buy a horse for that amount of money and have those expectations and have him just beat those types of horses. Irresistible Sun's a good horse. He's probably worth quite a bit more than what we got for him earlier. I think it's well documented. We race enough horses, especially when we push the envelope. Once in a while, we're going to get caught with our hand in the cookie jar, and I think it happened with Irresistible Sun. But to be fair to me, also at that time, they were not offering that open 2 in those classes that seemingly appeared after he was claimed. Now, is that on us? Should we have called the race office and said, hey, not seeing a whole lot of love for the Irresistible Sun type horses, and we need some classes written for them? Should we have done that? I don't know. But I still would have stood behind her decision with that 1 win left. And I think the claim of him had more to do with the people claiming him than it had to do with the horse and his relevance in that class. They knew him. They had a history with him. They bred him. So I think that played a bigger role than anything else. But Winter Soldier last night was good. For a horse that never raced on a half or a 5/8, to leave off the gate, be parked around the first turn, clear to the lead, and win by, I don't know, length and a half, 3 lengths, whatever the hell he won by. He did feel a tiny bit flat. Dr. Latessa's going to go over him, take his blood today. Again, no stone unturned. I know he won. I don't care. I want the blood work taken. I want Dr. Tessa to look at him and make sure if he needs any vet work done, it gets done. He can fit in that class for another 3 wins. So we do have some, obviously he's going to be, I told you guys, at 9-2 with silly odds. Just ridiculous odds. The horse should have been exactly what he went away. What, 7-5? 2-1, 8-5, whatever the hell he was. Not 9-2 morning line. And he's got 3 more runs at that class, I believe. 2 for sure, maybe 3. And then at that point, he's going to have to be a big boy. I like him, but I would like to see a little bit of growth from last night. And it is fair to say also, it's obvious that he's been off 3-4 weeks. We bought him. You know, when you buy a horse and then you don't get the horse for 4 or 5 days, you can only imagine what takes place in those 4 or 5 days. He stays in his stall. So, anyway, Winter Soldier raced all right. JK Victory, again, he doesn't do his best work from off the pace, and a couple of breakers helped. The one guy near cleaned everybody out. Jesus, these guys sometimes. But JK Victory did race good, closing on the end of it. You know, the only problem with JK Victory right now is he's not racing for enough money. That's the only problem. When you look at his races, overall they're pretty good. He's just not racing for enough. So that obviously has to be addressed at some point also. I think we've talked about that and toyed with it and said maybe we give him 3 weeks off and bring him back at the Meadow for the Meadows. The only problem I have with all that, I think I would turn the Meadows into Dayton and just say he's going to have to do down in Southern Ohio where they race for all the money. He's going to have to, because there's no consistency in the classes at the Meadows. You might go from the bottom class to 4th of the bottom to the backup class, or maybe the open with the rail. They don't have enough horses to fill them all the time, all fall. So I would say maybe a short rest in Dayton this winter and hope that he can do there. I know last year was not, I don't know which one it was, Dayton or Miami Valley. I think we raced him once. He was terrible. I think it was him. But my hope is that he can fit in there. And then Neptune, the poor bugger. This is a nice horse. This is not a bad animal. When you draw the outside in these classes at Northfield Park, it's impossible. And I hooked the wheel down by the wire. You were going to see him come charging through. He wasn't going to get checked, but he's going to be 6 or 7 come charging through. And it was pouring rain, muddy. I knew I was tight to Chris's wheel. He came in a bit, I came out a bit, and I did grab him. You guys saw that, right? We need to get him in a place he can do. He's too good not to be able to do. He is a nice, handy horse. Just a bunch of outside draws and bad trips and tough classes. Get over to the Meadows. Rock Shining Star is leaving the Meadows, and he is going there this week. So that will be the plan with. Neptune. Now today, first off, Raging Hanover is racing at the Poconos. Now tonight, I did talk to Dr. Tessa in depth last night. The GGTs are still a little bit high on Emerald Tom and on Supermind, so they're going to have to be raced and driven accordingly. I know it's going to help also. They're dropping down into the Buckeye, but we're going to have to race them accordingly. Uncle Danny's blood come back very good. He's at the outside, but it's not going to matter. He can snap off the car. He'll be able to put himself in a good spot. How I drive the other two will be very important. And then, of course, we close it tonight with Lifting Legend at Georgian pick for second. There is one in there that looks like he can beat him. But you still got to do it. You got to go and race the race. And Delicious Stone picked to win again tonight at Georgian Downs. So a very good card of horses for us. 6 horses going behind the gate on paper. All 6 can win. In reality, Raging Hanover's in a great spot. Emerald Tom and Supermind are going to have to overcome a little bit of a... Still, it's coming down, but it's still a little high, the GGT. So can't overcook them in the mile. I can't use them too hard. Use them sparingly. They're going to be picked to win. I'm going to have to drive them like they're 7-1. And hope that they race like they're 7-5. And Uncle Danny, you got to be conservative with him anyway, but I think tonight leave sit, same way we did in the Ohio State race. Lifting Legend just needs a little bit of luck, but is racing very, very good right now, as is Delicious Stone DK. So there you have it, a full update. 20 minutes. And I don't think I rambled that much. I think most of the information in this video is relevant. Off to the sale, I'll let you guys know if we purchase any horses. I don't really know what will go on this morning. This is, as I playfully always say, the scratch and dent sale. There's 11 horses on Amy and I's list. We're going to look at them. We are going to figure out what's what, and if the prices make sense, maybe we will buy one or two. And if they don't, it'll be an empty day. So, take care. I hope you guys have a great start to your Tuesday. The weather is at least very nice. A little chilly. We've been spoiled for a little bit. I think it feels like I've been wearing shorts for 3 months. No shorts today. A little chilly today. As 64 Fahrenheit is what? 32. 16 degrees right now in southern Ohio. It's supposed to hover around this temperature for the rest of the day. So a little chilly. Fall feeling morning is what it feels like. Hope you guys are having a great day there too, wherever you are. Hope the weather is wonderful. I will let you know if we happen to purchase any horses today in the sale here in southern Ohio.